Here is the first problem. A parallel plate capacitor with plate area A and separation D is filled with two wedges of dielectric constants K1 and K2 respectively. Find the capacitance of the resulting capacitor. Let L is the length of plates of capacitor and B is its breadth. Now considering a strip of thickness dx at distance x from end O. This strip can be considered as a series combination of two capacitors having capacitance DC1 and DC2. Net capacitance of this strip will be given by 1 upon DC is equal to 1 upon DC1 plus 1 upon DC2. Here DC is the net capacitance of this strip. Now from figure it is clear that tan theta is equal to QR upon X. Therefore QR will be equal to X tan theta and PQ will be equal to, PQ is this length is D, separation between the plates is D. PQ will be equal to D minus QR. It will be equal to D minus value of QR is X tan theta. Here tan theta is also equal to D upon L. Now we will calculate DC1 and DC2. Now the formula for capacitance is C is equal to epsilon naught Ka upon D. So the capacitance DC1 is equal to epsilon naught K1 into area of this part of the plate is width B into thickness dx. This is the area upon separation, this separation PQ. Separation PQ is D minus X tan theta. This point is P and this is Q. So it will be equal to epsilon naught K1 B dx upon D minus X. The value of tan theta is D upon L. So we can write here D upon L. This will be equal to, it will be equal to epsilon naught K1 LB dx upon D L minus X, as L into B is the total area of the plate. So we can write DC1 is equal to epsilon naught K1 A dx upon D into L minus X. Let us call this equation as 1, and capacitance of this lower part of the strip is given by DC2 is equal to epsilon naught K2 area of this plate, this part of the plate, it is B dx upon separation QR, it is X tan theta. The value of tan theta is D upon L. So DC2 will be equal to epsilon naught K2 b dx upon x into d upon L. This will be equal to epsilon naught K2 b into L dx upon x into d. That is dc2 is equal to epsilon naught K2 A is the area, which is equal to BL into dx upon x into d. As DC1 and DC2 are in series, therefore net capacitance of the strip is given by 1 upon DC is equal to 1 upon DC1 plus 1 upon DC2. It will be equal to, suppose it is our equation 2. Now using equation 1 and 2, in this equation we get 1 upon DC equal to d into L minus x upon epsilon naught K1 ADX it is equal to d upon epsilon naught. A is common, so it is equal to d upon epsilon naught A. Dx is also common, dx into, in bracket, here is L minus x and denominator is K1 and here is x and denominator is K2. So the value of 1 upon DC is d upon epsilon naught A dx into L minus x upon K1 plus x upon K2. Therefore, the value of DC will be equal to epsilon naught A dx upon d into L minus x upon K1 plus x upon K2. That is DC is equal to epsilon naught A dx. It is equal to epsilon naught A K1 K2 upon d dx upon K2 L plus K1 minus K2 into x. Now net capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor will be equal to integration of this DC. Value of x starts from 0 to L. It will be equal to epsilon naught A K1 K2 upon d are constants. X is equal to 0 to x is equal to L dx upon K2 L plus k1 minus k2 into x epsilon naught a k1 k2 upon d. Integration of this step is log e k2l plus k1 minus k2x upon k1 minus k2. Now lower limit is 0, x is equal to 0 and upper limit is l. So substituting these limits we get k1 k2 upon d. Taking k1 minus k2 outside from this bracket, k1 minus k2 is here, and put upper limit first, log base e k2l plus k1 minus k2 into l minus lower limit log base e k2l plus k1 minus k2 into 0. So it will be equal to epsilon naught a k1 k2 upon d into k1 minus k2 in bracket log base e k2l and k2l get cancelled, so here is k1 only, k1l only, minus log k2l base e. So C will be equal to epsilon naught a k1 k2 upon d k1 minus k2 into log base e k1l upon k2l. Since log m minus log n is equal to log m upon n, here C will be equal to epsilon naught a k1 k2 upon d k1 minus k2 into log base e, l and l get cancelled here, k1 upon k2. This is the required capacitance of the given capacitor. Now second problem is find the capacitance of parallel plate capacitor filled with variable dielectric medium having dielectric constant K is equal to AX plus B. Here is a parallel plate capacitor. A is the area of plate and H is the separation between the plates. Now considering a strip of thickness dx inside the dielectric at a distance x from left plate, the capacitance of this strip will be DC is equal to epsilon naught K A upon dx. Now whole dielectric medium can be considered as a series combination of such strips starting from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to h. So net capacitance is given by 1 upon C is equal to integration of 1 upon dc. Value of x is starting from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to h, it will be equal to integration of x is 0 and x is h 1 upon epsilon naught Ka upon dx. It will be equal to 1 upon epsilon naught a, integration limit is 0 to h dx upon k. This value will be equal to 1 upon epsilon naught a, integration of dx upon value of k is ax plus b. Here lower limit is 0, upper limit is h. It will be equal to 1 upon epsilon naught a into log, integration of this function is equal to log base e ax plus b upon a. Now lower limit is 0 and upper limit is h. Its value will be equal to 1 upon epsilon naught a substituting these values of lower and upper limit, we get log ah plus b minus log a into 0 plus b. It is your lower limit. It will be equal to 1 upon, it is a, and total upon a. It will be equal to 1 upon epsilon naught a small a into log base e ah plus b minus log base e b. Its value is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught a into a log base e ah plus b upon b. 1 upon epsilon naught a log base e a upon b into h plus 1. Therefore, C will be equal to epsilon naught a small a upon log a upon b h plus 1. This is the required capacitance of the given capacitor. Now next problem is find the net capacitance between terminals A and B of following circuits. Capacitance of each capacitor is C. Solution part A. From figure it is clear that this point and this point, these 3 points are symmetrical points, or we can say that these 3 positions are symmetrical positions. If we move from this position to position B, we encounter 2 capacitors along this side. Along this branch we also encounter 2 capacitors. If we consider this point to B, we encounter 2 capacitors. Along this branch we also encounter 2 capacitors. From this point or this position to B, we encounter two capacitors, and along this branch we also encounter two capacitors. So this position and this position are symmetric. From this position to A, we encounter one capacitor. From this position to A, one capacitor, and here also one capacitor. So we denote these 3 points, these 3 positions by C. These are equal potential points. Now red positions are also symmetrical, because from this red position to B we encounter one capacitor. From here to B we encounter one capacitor. From here to B we encounter one capacitor. From this position to C we encounter one capacitor. Here to C one capacitor. This position to C one capacitor. This position to C one capacitor. So these points or positions are also symmetric, and these positions are equipotential positions. Now we denote these positions by D. So this position is D, this position is also D, and this position is also D. Now a simple diagram for this network is given here. Between points A and C there are 3 capacitors. Let it is capacitor 1, it is capacitor 2, it is capacitor 3, then this is 1, this is capacitor 2, and this is your capacitor 3. Similarly, between points C and D, C points are same potential points or equipotential points, and D are also equipotential points. So let us denote potential at point C by V1. Suppose this potential point is, suppose potential at point A is V, and here potential is V1, and let potential at point D is V2, and suppose at point B it is 0. Now between point C and D there are 6 capacitors. Capacitor number 4, capacitor number 5, capacitor number where is 6, capacitor number 6, capacitor number 7, capacitor number 8, capacitor number 9. So 4, 5, it is 4, 6, 7, 8 and 9. There are 4 capacitors. There are 4 capacitors between C and D. Capacitor number 4, capacitor number 5, capacitor number 6, capacitor number 6, capacitor number 7, capacitor number 8 and capacitor number 9. These capacitors are between C and D. So there are 6 capacitors between C and D. Now between D and B there are 3 capacitors. Capacitor number 10, capacitor number 11 and capacitor number 12. 10, 11 and 12. Each capacitor has capacitance C. Now these 3 capacitors are in parallel, so their resultant is 3C. These 6 capacitors are also in parallel, so their resultant is 6C. It is your 6C capacitor, and the resultant of capacitors between D and B is also 3C. Now these 3 capacitors are in series, so their resultant is given by 1 upon C equivalent is equal to 1 upon 3C plus 1 upon 6C plus 1 upon 3C. Its value is 5 upon 6C, so C equivalent will be 6 upon 5C. This is the net capacitance between terminals A and B in problem A. Now in this case we have to calculate the net capacitance between phase diagonal points A and B. For A and B, these 2 positions are symmetric positions, so we denote these positions by C. If we go from position A to B, we encounter one capacitor between A and this position C, and here we also encounter one capacitor. From C to B we also encounter one capacitor along this branch, and from here to here is also one capacitor. So these two positions are symmetric positions and these 2 points are equipotential points. Let us denote the potentials at these 2 points by V1. So potential at this point and this point is V1. Now these two positions are also symmetric positions, because from this point to B we encounter 2 capacitors, and from this point to B we also encounter 2 capacitors. From this to C we encounter 1 capacitor, and from this point to C we also encounter 1 capacitor. So we are denoting these 2 points by D. These 2 points are also equipotential points. Suppose this position is E and this position is F. Simple circuit diagram for above network is shown here. Between A and E there is one capacitor, capacitor number 1. Between E and D there are 2 capacitors, capacitor number 2 and capacitor number 3, capacitor number 2, capacitor number 3. Now between D and F there are 2 capacitors 4 and 5. Look here, between D and F there are 4 and D and F 4 and 5, D and F. This is your capacitor number 5. Now between F and B there is one capacitor and it is 6. So 6 is here. Between A and C capacitor number 8 and A and C capacitor number 7. Capacitor number 7 and 8 are connected between A and C. Between A and C 7 and 8 are connected. Now between C and D one capacitor is capacitor number C and D one capacitor is capacitor number 9, and between C and D capacitor number 10. Capacitor number 10 is connected, capacitor number 9 is connected. Now between C and B, C is here and B is here. So between C and B, between this C and B capacitor number 11 is connected. So capacitor number 11, and between this C and B capacitor number 12. So it is capacitor number 12. This is the resultant network, resultant circuit diagram for this network. As each capacitor has magnitude C, so resultant of 2 and 3 is, these are in parallel, is 2C. So their resultant is 2C is here, and the resultant of 7 and 8 is also 2C. This is shown here. This is the resultant of 7 and 8. The resultant of 12 and 11 is also 2C. This is shown here. And resultant of 4 and 5 is also 2C. So their resultant is shown here. These are the resultant of above capacitors. And the resultant of 9 and 10 is 2C. These are also in parallel. This resultant is shown here. Now the resultant of C and 2C is 2 upon 3C. These are in series, and resultant of these 2C and C is also 2 upon 3C because these are also in series. So new circuit is shown here. This is the new circuit for this given circuit. Now from this circuit diagram we see that 2 upon 3C, this capacitance upon this capacitance 2C is equal to this 2 upon 3C capacitance upon this 2C. It is 3. So by Wheatstone bridge condition, there will not be any charge on capacitor between C and D. So we can remove this capacitor. We can remove this capacitor from here. So this will be your new circuit. Now this can be simplified as these two capacitors are in series, so their resultant is 2 upon 3C into 2 upon 3C upon 2 upon 3C plus 2 upon 3C. It will be equal to C upon 3, and the resultant of these two capacitors will be, because these are also in series, 2C into 2C upon 2C plus 2C. It will be equal to C. So this is the simplified circuit diagram. Now these two capacitors are in parallel, so net capacitance between A and B will be equal to C equivalent will be equal to C plus C upon 3. It will be equal to 4 upon 3 C. Now we will calculate the net capacitance between these two terminals A and B. These two positions C are symmetric positions because between A and C there is only one capacitor, and between this C and A there is also one capacitor. Then from C to B we encounter two capacitors, and along this branch we also encounter two capacitors. So these positions are symmetric positions, and we can say that these two positions are equipotential positions, or these 2 points are equipotential points. Similarly, these 2 points D are also symmetric because between D and B there is only one capacitor. Here is also one capacitor, and between D and C there is one capacitor, and from this C to D there is only one capacitor. So positions D are also symmetric, and we can say that these 2 points are equipotential points. Now let this position is E and this is F. This is your simple circuit network, simple circuit diagram for above network. Now the resultant of these two capacitors is 2C because these are in parallel. Resultant of these two capacitors is also 2C. These two capacitors is also 2C, 2C, and this is also 2C. So the new circuit diagram is this. Now these three capacitors are in series. These three capacitors are in series. So their resultant is given by 1 upon Ceq is equal to 1 upon 2C plus 1 upon C plus 1 upon 2C. 2C here will be 1 plus 2 plus 1, 4 upon 2C. Therefore C equivalent of this part will be 2 1 ja 2, 2 2 ja 4, C upon 2. So this is the new circuit diagram. Now these two capacitors are in parallel. These two are in parallel. So their resultant is C upon 2 plus 2C. It will be equal to 5 upon 2C. So new simplified circuit diagram is this. Now these three capacitors are in series. Their resultant is given by 1 upon Ceq is equal to 1 upon 2C plus 1 upon 5 upon 2c plus 1 upon 2c. It will be equal to, this will be equal to 7 upon 5c. This implies C equivalent will be equal to 5 upon 7c. This is your net capacitance between terminals A and B. In this circuit, we have to calculate net capacitance between these two terminals A and B. For this, we connect these terminals with a virtual battery. Let voltage at positive terminal of the battery is V and negative terminal of battery is 0. So the potential at B point will be 0 and at point A it will be V. Now this position is symmetric with this position, so these points are equipotential points. Let potential at this point is V1. And these 2 points are also symmetric. Suppose the potential at this point is V2, so the potential at this point will also be V2, and let potential at this point is V3. Suppose charge on this plate is Q1 and on this plate it is minus Q1. So due to symmetry, on this plate the charge will be Q1 and on this plate it will be minus Q1. Let on this plate the charge is Q2. So the charge on this plate will also be Q2. Now due to symmetry, the charge at this point, at this plate will be minus Q1 and here it will be plus Q1 and here minus Q1 plus Q1 and Q2 minus Q2 plus Q2. Here we see that the sum of this charge Q2 and this charge minus Q2 is 0. This charge minus plus Q2 and this charge minus Q2, sum of these two charges is 0. So we can isolate this portion from this branch and from this lower branch. So the new simplified diagram is this. Now these two capacitors are in series and their resultant is parallel with this capacitor. Similarly, these two capacitors are in series and their resultant is parallel with this capacitor, and their resultant is in series with these two capacitors, and these will also be in series, and their resultants are parallel with this branch. So the net diagram will be, so new simplified diagram is this. Now these three capacitors are in series, these are in series, these are also in series, and these are also in series. These are in series. Their resultants are in parallel with each other. Resultant of these three capacitors is resultant is 3C upon 8, and resultant of this part is 3C upon 8, and resultant of this part is C and C. It will be C upon 2. Now further simplified circuit is this, and their resultant is, the equivalent capacitance is this. Now next problem is, one plate of capacitor is connected to a spring as shown in figure. Area of both the plates is A. In steady state, separation between the plates is 0.8 d. Spring was unstretched and the distance between the plates was d when the capacitor was uncharged. The force constant of the spring is approximately. Here are 4 options. Suppose left plate of capacitor is fixed and d is the separation, initial separation between the plates of the spring. Let AB are the plates of capacitor. Plate A is fixed and plate B is free to move along the wire. Wires are loosely connected with the plates and the battery, and the plate B is also connected with this spring as shown in diagram. When switch S was open, there will not be any charge on the plates of capacitor, and so the spring will be in its unstressed form. When switch S is closed, the charge starts flowing from battery to the plates of capacitor. Suppose when capacitor is fully charged, the charge on the plates of capacitor is plus Q and minus Q. Due to these charges, one plate of capacitor attracts the other plate, and electrostatic force of attraction between the plates is given by F is equal to Q square upon 2 epsilon naught A. This is the force of attraction between the plates of capacitor. As plate B is free to move towards plate A, it is only connected with the spring. So due to this force of attraction, plate B moves towards plate A, and as B starts moving towards plate A, there will be extension in spring. Let at any instant, suppose in equilibrium, the extension in spring is X. Extension in spring is X. Then restoring force on this spring, on this plate due to this spring, will be in this direction, and the magnitude of the force, restoring force, will be given by F is equal to Kx. In equilibrium, this electrostatic force will be equal to Kx. Here K is the spring constant. It is spring constant. In equilibrium, Q square upon 2 epsilon naught A is equal to Kx. Here X is equal to initial separation between the plates. It is D minus final separation between the plates 0.8 D. It will be equal to 0.2 D. As Q is equal to CE, therefore we can write, from here we get K is equal to C square E square upon 2 epsilon naught A 0.2 D. Now again C is given by epsilon naught A upon distance between the plates. It is 0.8 D in equilibrium. So we can write K is equal to epsilon naught square A square upon 0.64 D square into this E square upon 2 epsilon naught A into 0.2 D. On simplifying this, we get this as a result.